Hi everyone, I'm here with Noel from My Accounts today. Noel, welcome. We're here to talk all things ATO, all things bookkeeping, all things business. So yeah, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Michael. Appreciate it.
The great thing is between us, we always have a solution for businesses that find themselves in that position with ATO debt. So welcome. Before we jump into it, Noel, obviously I know a lot about you and your business. Tell us a little bit about your business and what you do.
Yeah, thank you. Bookkeeping company, My Accounts, is we've been operating since 2007, which is a long time. So a lot of iterations of the business. But what we've been finding is, I think, the evolving role of the bookkeeper, or even the scope of work, and exactly what we deliver changes. With the rising tech and advancements in our field. So we've as of late, we've gotten really focused and pointed and looking to deliver reporting to all clients. And so, from Vineyard 26, we're updating our mission to be the numbers that matter, and kind of get quite focused on ensuring that all of our clients, from a big bookkeeping perspective, know the numbers that matter, and we deliver it to them in a timely manner. And obviously, those numbers change from business to business. And exactly to your point, Michael, there'll be businesses that where watching cash in particular is perhaps paramount. Maybe say a startup that has kind of just received seed funding or something like that, and that kind of just dwindles. But hopefully, it's dwindling within the range that they are hoping for. Or conversely, might be a business that's looking to or planning to exit within, say, 3 to 5 years, and they may have EBITDA targets and things like that. So the numbers that matter to both those businesses are a little bit different. And it's just important that we communicate that to them and show them that. So yeah, numbers that matter is what we're focusing on this year as part of our bookkeeping offering.
Yeah, and I'd be interested to sort of see what you're seeing in the market and seeing with the clients that you're talking to and advisors that you're talking to around that whole issue with the ATO and the debts that are arising at the moment.
Yeah, I'm an eternal optimist, but I think over the last, say, 2 years, I've definitely seen impact to SME, and if, within my client base and within our broader network, there've definitely been some casualties amongst the client base. Like we keep saying, the speed to act, I think, is always the primary reason a business will survive or not survive. The kind of the head in the sand type thing. And I completely understand. We're both business owners, Michael. Sometimes when that gets really stressful, sometimes you're fight or flight.
It's no point going to the commissioner and saying, either yourself or through accountant, can we do A, B, and C, if it's not within the parameters of the legal practice statements that they can approve. And it's, I often quote the Little Britain, computer says no. And it's no more complicated than that. And maybe I need a more up-to-date one because I saw somebody the other day and they went, what's Little Britain? But for those that don't know, Google Little Britain computer says no, and it's exactly how it works. If you put something to them and it's outside the parameters they can approve, and those parameters vary from business to business, then it is computer says no.
I mean, I'm no psychologist, but the little bit I know about anxiety is often it's around the unknown, and kind of overthinking, permutating all the scenarios that may or may not happen. But then, as you said, if you kind of just take a couple steps and get some certainty around some aspects and start to get a little bit of control, generally, levels of anxiety can start to reduce.
Yeah, they always say that first step's the hardest, but I think the first step is get in contact. Either, if you're a business owner here or you're an accountant, get in contact with the ATO, start that process. And if you get the outcome you want, I was talking to an accounting firm a few days ago and they said, when would we use you? And I said, you'd use us when you're not getting the outcomes you want. If you're getting the outcomes, you don't need us. But if you're not getting the outcomes, and by outcomes, I don't mean any payment plan, but a payment plan that fits your client, or you're getting the interest and penalties removed because there are grounds. If you're getting those outcomes, happy days. But take that first step, and then there's always the solution. We run stats on this regularly, and around about 97% of the businesses that we see, we fix. So it's only 3% that need to go down and have those sleepless nights.
Well, I can speak from experience. Us and our team obviously work with you, and I think it's no secret. We will have a crack on behalf of our clients, and of course our team aren't as trained at with ATO negotiation and things like that. But we will generally have a quick phone call and see what we can do, and increasingly so. I would say over the last 2 to 3 years, the ability for our team to lock into, say, an acceptable payment plan and things like that has probably reduced, and the need to escalate or refer on to parties such as yourself has increased. And so that to that point, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing too. And you use that term acceptable payment plan, and that's, I think that's the key. I mean, we use sustainable, acceptable, interchangeable, but anybody can get a payment plan, but it's around getting one that won't kill the business and one that is sustainable and an ability for them to clear it, not worry about it every month, and just as I said, get on with business. Because you mentioned before about psychology. There's been plenty of studies done around the impact of stress and anxiety, and it literally drops people's IQs. And so I often see people, and I can see, and I'm talking to them, and I realize a lot of it's not going in because they're just so stressed. And then I get to see the other side of it when we say it's all done, it's all finished, and all the creativity and life comes back to them. And then they can then actually make better, forgetting the ATO, they can make better decisions in their business. And that's kind of why we do what we do. And sleep at night.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
if you're not sleeping well, amongst a lot of other things, that I think makes clear thinking pretty difficult, at least from my perspective as well.
Yeah.
Definitely.